Hey, RPM trade Vietnam. What's hotter than a bitch in here? Let's see if we can get 1 or 2, 3, 5 motherfuckers in here. I ain't did a live stream in a while. Hate to have to do all this fucking dash clicking. I might just get out the car for real. I'll get out the car. It's hotter than a bitch in there. Man, I just wanted to do this live stream. I realized that a buddy of mine, another YouTuber, Zachary K. Hubbard, got an awesome YouTube channel. If y'all don't understand gematria, y'all need to get in tune. Go learn gematria. It's a beautiful thing, and I think you owe it to yourself if you call yourself any level of truth seeker at all. If you think that that's what you are, then I think the best thing for you to do is to take in all information, especially the shit that sounds foreign or crazy to you, because there's a good chance that that's where you're gonna find the gold. Know what I mean? That's where you're gonna find some new information. So strange and unusual information or rabbit holes are really good for the truth seeker. So if you're gematria, never heard of it before, it's gonna blow your mind. Go check out Number Games with Zachary K. Hubbard on YouTube. I highly recommend. I would be sad had I never heard of anything about gematria, because I would feel cheated in life if I didn't get an opportunity to witness this shit happening. I like knowing shit. I don't like the world playing games with me. I know things go way above my head all the time because I'm only human. I'm only one man, right? So any opportunity that I get to take in some new information, I try to do that shit, bro. If it's bullshit, I'll call it bullshit later, but to have my own personal opportunity to say yay or nay to some new information is you know, the best I can really ask for. Then I can leave it up to myself to determine whether I think the information is relevant or not. So go check out gematria and learn that shit with Zachary K. Hubbard over there at Number Games with Zachary K. Hubbard right here on YouTube. But hey, speaking of Zach though, I was just watching Zach's live stream, and he was reading some of my chats in his live stream. And one thing that I was like slightly offended by, because I thought Zach would know me enough of my work to understand what it is that I mean when I say that you have a God-given right to gun ownership. He kind of laughed at it a little bit when he saw me say that the gun is a God-given right, because he was like, well, you know, God didn't give you the gun. Nah, but he didn't get none of these niggas a sword too when all of that shit was going on then. I don't know who the fuck these weapons manufacturers are thinking for their success in all of their endeavors of manufacturing and distributing and then using weapons of mass destruction, but they're also thinking somebody or something. I think whatever the great consciousness, whatever put us here says, survival and defense is always right, and the tool you use got nothing to do with nothing, because where would they get the right to tell you not to choose a gun if all you want to do is defensively respond to a threat in your life? You get to also choose whatever weapon you want to use for that to be effective. And I think guns are fucking effective. They're super effective. I can't think of anything else as far as personal defense. That's why I say that the gun is a God-given right, because let's go over this now. It doesn't matter what kind of gun it is. None of that matters, bro. It doesn't matter what any government official has to say about your gun ownership in reality, because the government thing is a game that they laid over reality when reality was already here. All of the nature, all that shit was already here, right? They laid the government game over it. Boom, I'm going down to the raw nature. Government came after that. I don't got to listen to shit unless I feel it is conducive to my survival, my well-being. All of these voluntary relationship between me and anybody is just all, this is all natural stuff. Any relationship between me and anybody be voluntary. Government don't allow that to be voluntary. And when they do appear to be governing the consent is usually manufactured consent with a whole lot of hypnosis and bullshit going on in these public schools, from the curriculum to the diagnosis of ADHD over all these damn kids, and all of these diagnoses. They're diagnosed in childhood, right? Childhood has a diagnosis now, multiple diagnoses, and they got a pill for all that shit, right? So we can go deep into that if we want to, as far as how hard the government works to control your mind to make the consent appear to be consensual consent in a relationship between you and him, but it's not. So Zach's smart enough to know that it goes deeper than the surface level stuff. I'm surprised Zach would even talk in this way, that, well, God given right. Man, it's always an argument that if I ain't hurt nobody, whatever I choose to use to defend myself can't be anybody else's business, because where would that come from? If I can't say that my God given right is to, number one, defend myself, and then follow that up with whatever the fuck I get my hands on, as long as I'm acting in defense. If that part makes somebody say, no, we gotta negotiate that part, I wanna know where the fuck they get their argument from. If I can't get my argument from a God or the consciousness that birthed me, none of man, look, come on, Zach, I thought you were smarter than that, bro. And I know that you're smart, and I know I kind of see what it is that you mean, but I thought you would be more intelligent than the statement that you made, because it seems like you can't jump over this idea that government still is kind of the power and the say so. So you got to kind of work with them on the gun part, even though I understand. No, there is no working with them, bro. There is no working with them. They are nobody. They are force. It's the only thing that gives them what it is that they want. The deception that you point out with the gematria, all of the violence that comes through, the secrecy, that helps a lot. If they can just stay out of the spotlight, that covers their ass a lot for them not being seen. Right? All of these things go into play when you consider what it is that we're dealing with. Come on, Zach. It's multifaceted, and you know it. Gematria explains that very seriously. And something else that Zach might not have noticed, or I never really hear him or other people really address me directly. People just kind of rock with whatever I'm saying, but I never really know exactly what it is that I'm saying, that people understand that. And where these points lead to. But the fact of the matter is, the Constitution in and of itself creates an arena of debate for things that should not be debated. It cannot be debated that if I'm acting in self-defense, that now the tool matters, though. If I'm acting in self-defense and I use a gun that they said was illegal, how am I guilty if I only use it for self-defense and nothing else happened? I can't still be charged to be guilty of something. If I can, that is giving government way too much power, and that's the whole point of it. All over Zach's channel, he is disqualifying government for being in any position of a moral high ground, or even a legal standing to be telling us anything at all about anything, especially the length of my AR-15 barrel. Where am I getting these orders from? Masters of mass murder, human trafficking, drug trafficking. I don't have to listen to them. Even their own papers say that you can disqualify any law, rule, ordinance, or code that is in violation of the Constitution, even if it made itself into this realm of the color of law or authority, that they can even press you about these issues. It doesn't matter. At the actual bottom line root of what's going on makes what it is that made its way to law status. Sometimes that will happen, and they told you that will happen. U.S. Title 18, Section 241 and 242 says that you got to be aware of the possibility and the manifestation of something making its way to law status that did not deserve to be there, because you are going to state that it gets its way there, and it should not be. Everybody knows that. U.S. Title 18, Section 241 and 242 says this. So if people want to be smart and they want to play by the rules, all the laws matter. This one has to matter also. It doesn't seem to matter to people who are ignorant and don't know that it's there, or people who want to go along to get along, but they don't want to rock the boat, but they don't want to really be real, though. The real truth is U.S. Title 18, Section 241 and 242 makes it very clear that any state that may have allow open carry, right? But you had to have a permit or something. If that's what they did, and then they removed the necessity of a permit, because they say that's how they better get in tune with constitutional rights and how that's supposed to go, by removing a stipulation that was there before. What they are saying is they were wrong when the stipulation was standing. And every government ounce of force that they use to enforce those laws and rules, statutes, ordinance, and codes, when they are admittedly in the wrong because they changed it later, they're supposed to be held accountable for that shit too. All of their laws and stuff actually point to us telling them to fuck off when it's time to tell them to fuck off, but nobody notices it. If you want to give weight to the Constitution, you have to also at the very least, give weight to all of the things that say when they have fucked it up and what we are supposed to do in response to them fucking it up. Though nobody want to honor none of that shit, and it's retarded, and I'm tired of fucking watching it. It's fucking stupid. We get into this stupid shit because the same hypnosis and manufactured consent of control and domination that Zach magnifies on his channel, not only is it disqualifying them, it's proof that once you get inside of their game, they will find some way to manipulate you out of the things that you should have been fighting them for. So when they change that Constitution and say that all of a sudden, because they changed the magical paper, because the way Zach talking, he act like if they change the magical paper, something has gone wrong, and that we have lost something, or that we failed somewhere. We ain't failed nothing. It always said in that Constitution, in the Bill of Rights and everything, they try to outline this for y'all, but everybody's ignoring it because they're scared of what that means. There's a responsibility behind this. If they fuck with that Constitution, we are not fucked. They are, because that means they want to fight and we're supposed to give them the fight, period. It's way too simple. And as soon as you talk like, well, if they do this and they do that, we're going to lose a constitutional right. When you say that like that, you are telling them that you're up for negotiation and that you might actually accept the loss without fighting, that you want to accept defeat about a God-given right. That's fucking ridiculous. If I'm into a fight for my life and a government agency says I cannot use a firearm anymore, right? Who's to say that the criminal who I'm defending my life against, did he listen to them? I don't think so. This man may have accepted murder, armed robbery, murder, whatever he's trying to do to me. He has accepted all of that inside of his life. I cannot count on him actually refraining from owning a firearm if the government told me and him not to own a firearm. Why would I count on that? I wouldn't count on that, right? So if I lose a fight to a criminal who already don't give a fuck and I'm just acting in defense, but I am outgunned because he got a gun and they told me not to have one and I listened, now I lost my life because I let a government agency say, hey, you can fight for your life, that's natural, but we get to jump in and tell you, use something that's really not that effective or that wouldn't be your number one choice. You don't get to tell me what I get to choose in defense. You get to tell me what to do if I am an aggressor, because then I disqualify myself from every fucking thing. I don't even got an argument. Now I got to fight for my life if I want to resist you while I'm in the wrong. That guy just is supposed to lose. But the good guy who ain't did nothing is not supposed to lose a fight to a guy that said that he wasn't going to listen to no government bullshit about nothing. Not about murder, not about the gun that they told both of us not to have, no nothing. If that's the case inside of a criminal, bro, I'm not the one that y'all supposed to be talking to, period. And it's a violation of the nature to leave me outgunned in a fight for my life if I'm acting in defense. That's why I say God-given, and it's undebatable.